6 months ago, this old Tacoma was one bad weld away from the scrapyard. We cut it apart, patched the frame, and turned it into a home on wheels built to take on 10,000 kilometers of some of the roughest terrain in North America. From Alberta to the Arctic Ocean, across the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and deep into Alaska, this trip has been a whirlwind of everything from brutal to beautiful.
We did our Arctic Ocean plunge!
I started this trip with two questions in mind, and now as we start the long drive back home to Calgary, I'm getting close to having the answers. Can you really trust an old machine to go the distance? And is it all worth it? Would I do it again? Okay, that's actually 3 questions, but you get the idea. We've covered about 8,000 of the 10,000 kilometers planned, and the answers are getting close. Welcome to the last stretch of this northern adventure, Anchorage to Calgary. We've made it to Alaska, but getting there is only half the journey. The road home is a whole different beast. In this episode, we face a few unexpected problems in Alaska.
This is turning into a very, very late night.
Cook up some fresh, locally caught salmon, take on the legendary Cassiar Highway through northern BC, and explore parts of Western Canada we've never seen before. This is the last leg of our 10,000 kilometer journey, and it all starts right now. John and I had talked about getting out on the river since the very start of this trip, and today's the day. We tracked down a local canoe rental on the Kenai and decided to give it a go. The plan is to paddle from Skillack Lake down the Kenai River, right in the heart of salmon spawning season. If we're lucky, we'll catch sight of the salmon fighting their way upstream to their spawning grounds. With the gear loaded and spirits high, we push off into the current. But it doesn't take long before we run into our first problem.
What happened?
I don't know, man. It just torqued it the wrong way, I guess. I don't know. Never seen that happen before.
Well, we're getting out here on the water a little ways, a couple kilometers in, and all of a sudden I hear crack! And his paddle split in half, so we're down to one paddle. We're gonna see if we can get a little bit of a fix going here on this paddle so we can have two. So the old saying goes, up a creek without a paddle sort of deal. might go well. I don't think you're going to be able to hold pressure on that. Okay, what'd you do?
Threw a cam strap around it and
So the way it broke, you might be able to hold a little bit of pressure on it?
slightly. Oh, what's going to happen? All right.
So our busted paddle seems to be working all right. It snapped in just a way where this ratchet strap is actually holding it together, and I'm able to put a little bit of enough pressure on it to be able to still make some power. And we're hitting the current now, so hopefully we won't have to paddle as much or as hard.
Pulling out at Bing's Landing.
I'm on the left-hand side below the keys.
Left-hand side below the keys.
You know where the keys are.
No, what are the...
When you start getting into the houses,
Okay.
the cabins, you make that 90-degree turn, then you go back and make another 90-degree turn.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that too. We'll text you whenever we a picture of where we put it. Yeah, they were super nice guys, but I think he gave us a dry rotten one.
So an interesting turn of events here. We've been pulling people over in their boats that were passing us on the river. Just lots of people fishing in this area, and so occasionally we'll pull somebody over and ask them if they have a spare paddle for sale. And what do you know? We got another paddle. Somebody offered us a paddle. It was very nice. We're gonna go drop it off. They gave us their address and phone number, so we're gonna finish up our trip here and then go drop off our new paddle. It's a bit big because it's an oar. It's better than what we were using. How's the new paddle?
Turns out the oar works pretty well, actually. A lot better than a broken paddle. I think this would have been very rough without this.
All right, we just stopped for some lunch along the good bank here. Watching all these salmon swimming upstream, and I just learned that when they're red like this, it means that they're at the end of their life cycle, and you can see all these red fish swimming up the river. We're back on the water, still with our oar. We got to return that after we're done here.
Watching the salmon push upstream through the turquoise water of the Kenai felt like witnessing one of nature's great migrations up close. A raw, relentless, and perfectly timed quest. There's something inspiring about seeing life fight its way back home. It's late in the afternoon now, and we still have the task of returning the borrowed oar and returning the canoe before rolling out camp. This might turn into a very late night.
Well, we were successful in getting off the water. Now we got to get the canoe on top of John's 4Runner, get everything packed up, and then go see about delivering that oar that was lent to us. And then we got to return the canoe, and then we got to get to a camp spot.
I'll let you know. So you guys are at home now? Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'll let you know. Bye. All right. We have a little adventure for the evening.
What did he say?
It's about an hour away, but it says it's a really nice place. We should come check it out. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get a free fishing spot.
This is turning into a very, very late night. I will have to tell you guys all about it. But for right now, we are trying to find a camp spot here.
Tighter and tighter on it. See a good place to turn around.
It has been a minute. There's been a lot going on in the past couple days. So let me get you caught up here real quick. To finish something off, I got super sick in Anchorage. I won't get into the gory details. There was a little while there where I was thinking about going into the urgent care or emergency room if things got one step worse. Thankfully, they didn't. Thankfully, not nearly as sick as I was there. It's scary getting sick on the road. If you guys have ever been really, truly sick while you're traveling in a foreign country, it's not something you mess around with, right? Then we went down to Anchor Point, to the westernmost point that you can drive in North America. After that, we found ourselves on a canoe trip down the river. While we were on the river, John snapped his paddle on the rented canoe and paddles. We ratchet strapped it all together, and it was actually holding there for, a couple of miles. But we were pulling fishermen over on the river there. Flag them down, hey, do you guys have a paddle for sale? A bunch of people said no, but this lovely couple stopped. They had a long oar, and they said, here, you guys can have this if you want it, and it ended up working out great. Now, after we were done with our canoe trip, we got back in the car and drove an hour out to this guy's big piece of property on the river. We ended up having a wonderful conversation with him and his wife. He offered to take us out on his boat, which we had to decline because we had to make some miles, but he did give us some salmon that he had been fishing for. I think they were saying several 100,000 of these salmon that are swimming upriver, up the Kenai, this time of year to get back to their spawning grounds. And so all of these fishermen that we saw going back and forth, they were all fishing for salmon. And I learned that it's not really the red ones you want to be eating, but the silver ones, that's the salmon that you want to be eating. He has, a big freezer, and he puts these salmon fillets in a vacuum sealed bag and then freezes them. So he was kind enough to give us a couple of packages of salmon that he had caught right out of the river. We're gonna cook those up tonight and have some fresh Alaskan salmon right here at our camp spot. What an experience. Let's get the salmon cooked up and have a nice evening at camp here. All right, time to get the salmon out of the fridge. This is gonna be so good. Oh, look at that.
All right, so I have read about this, anticipating catching my own fish, but that has not yet happened. I've read that there's these pin bones along the sides here when they make the fillet, and it's pretty much impossible to get them out when you cut it. So luckily had some hemostats here in my medical kit and cleaned those up and sterilized them with a little bit of alcohol, and now we're gonna get these pin bones out of the side. You just pluck them out of each fillet.
It's funny how a snapped paddle can lead to a meal of fresh Alaskan salmon. A small moment of bad luck turned into a reminder of how there are kind, generous people tucked into every corner of this world. Alaska's full of them. Some of the most genuine folks we've ever met anywhere. This place really does have its own way of bringing people together.
is amazing. You know, it's weird. It tastes a little bit fishier, fresh, honestly. No, so good. I think the next night we do it, a little bit of butter, a little bit of rosemary, or dill.
Yeah, a couple of comforts.
Like that diesel heater. You said I was getting all
Oh, I got enough.
We've made it back into Canada, back into British Columbia, and I can't tell you how good it feels. The Cassiar Highway stretches out ahead, a road that's been a mystery to me for years. Our plan is to follow it south from the Yukon border, through the heart of BC over the next couple days. It will bring us close to Prince George, and from there, home isn't far. At the start of the Cassiar, we meet an interesting guy at the small fuel station. He's just finished up this road and gives us some fresh info on the road condition. He's driving an old Troopy he brought up from Washington, freshly imported from the UAE, a vehicle I know all too well. He lives in Alaska and is making his way north before the cold sets in. Encounters like this are awesome and remind me of how tight the four-wheel drive travel community really is.
Officially starting the Cassiar Highway. It's crazy, just in the last couple days, I've really noticed that the leaves are starting to change in this area, and especially when we were a little further north and a little further west, the fall colors are really starting to come out, which is crazy because we are in just past mid-August now. We're not even in September yet. Coming up to the end of August, I suppose, but it seems it's still a little early to be seeing these fall colors, but I guess we are pretty far north.
Supposedly, the Cassiar Highway is another main route travelers take when driving to or from Alaska. It seems like the quieter alternative to the Alaska Highway, with fewer towns, less traffic, and a more remote, wild feel. The road runs for over 700 kilometers through some of the most rugged country in northern British Columbia. Services are limited, so we're sure to fill up on fuel whenever we get the chance. Along the way, you'll pass endless lakes, dense forests, and the kind of mountain views that make the extra solitude worth it. It's a route for people who prefer the road less traveled, where every bend feels a little more untouched than the last, and that's why we're driving it south.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and like, you know, you think maybe your like camping system is up to par or how you want.
All right, well, if you know anything about these first-gen Tacomas, you know that they're prone to having the corner lights fall out because the little clip that holds it in to the fender, it just likes to snap off. So every once in a while, I have to redo the tape job. I just use some electrical. I've just been using some electrical tape for the past couple months to hold this corner light in. And you know, I'm going down the highway this morning, and all of a sudden I hear this thing starting to flap around again. Gotta love old trucks, right? There it goes. You know what? The other side has held up through the entire trip, actually. And it's just this side that started to come loose. A little bit more tape should be able to get me home, I think. There, good as new. You can't even see it.
John and I say our goodbyes just outside of Kitwanga. He's taking a different route back south into the US. We started this 6-week adventure chasing remote roads and wild places together, and it's been one hell of a ride. Traveling with someone who says yes to adventure and makes the miles a little lighter is what you want in an adventure partner. Now it's just me heading back south, back toward Calgary, with a lot of time to think about everything we've seen and accomplished along the way. So, I'm finding myself in Kitwanga, British Columbia this morning, a couple hours outside of Prince George. Gonna be into Prince George today, and then hopefully Calgary tomorrow. I'm really trying to make the push home right now, unfortunately, because I'm still sick and I'm still dealing with my GI symptoms. Things have not cleared up in the way that I hoped they would. I was really looking forward to coming home from this trip, feeling invincible, feeling that wonderful sensation of having accomplished something huge, getting up to Toyota and into Alaska. And while that sensation is still present, it's still there, it's also now accompanied by the fact that I'm going to have to seek some medical attention when I get home. I mean, it's all part of the journey, it's all part of the story. It's just made me realize your body is just as much a vehicle for adventure as the truck and anything else that propels you. And so you really got to look after your number one vehicle. When it starts to break down, it's kind of scary. Since we left Anchorage, it's been a bit of a struggle. I had some good days where I feel like I'm getting better, and then I'm just hit with these days where it just feels so crummy and I feel like I'm falling apart. Definitely given me a greater appreciation for what it means to be healthy. I'm really hoping that I can make it home without my symptoms getting worse. I'm still over 1,000 kilometers away from Calgary. I have a plan, you know, if things start to go wrong, I can stop in Prince George, but if I can help it, I'm going to make the push today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow are going to be a huge push in the truck. Wish me luck. Let's get after it. All right, we made it to Prince George last night. Stayed in a little motel here. It was nice. And today we're going to make the 800-kilometer push back to Calgary. Should be in Calgary today at around 6 to 7 p.m. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a big push, but it'll be good to be home. So let's do it. Also, I've never been to Prince George before. It's kind of a neat little town. So today on the way home, one of the things that I've been looking forward to is seeing Mount Robson, one of the tallest mountains in Canada. I think it's actually the tallest mountain in the Canadian Rockies, technically. I've wanted to see it for a long time. I haven't been able to make my way up that road, so today we're going to be driving it on the way home, which is going to be awesome. And the plan is to get home today. All right, I've made a deal with myself that to get through this 800 Ks, every 100 Ks, I'm gonna stop, pull over, and do a small amount of movement or exercise. Let's do it. Maybe a couple squats, couple jumping jacks, couple push-ups. All right, so that was the first 100 Ks down. We'll see you at the next stop, next 100 Ks. I feel better after moving a little bit. Stop number 2 here. We are well past Prince George now. This area is just so beautiful. These valleys and these mountains, and oh my gosh, it's really, really nice out here. I've never been to this area of BC, and I wasn't expecting it to be this beautiful, actually. All right, there's this little pull-off park down here, some picnic tables. This would be a perfect area to do some squats and some lunges. So let's do it. Back in the truck we go. 100 more kilometers, we'll see you then. Just stop at Regard Falls. Counts as my exercise for the next 100 kilometers. Let's go check out this waterfall. All right, that was cool. Seeing the end of where the salmon come up to spawn. 800 miles. And it's pretty cool because we saw some of those salmon down in the ocean in Alaska, and now seeing them all the way the heck inland here. It's just crazy. And those falls were the last spot, the furthest point that they come, which is just incredible, man. Those fish. 10 to 12 Ks now from Mount Robson. Oh, I'm so excited to see this mountain. Alberta is the one place, Alberta and British Columbia are the places that I'm more excited to come home to than to leave. Something so special. If you know, you know. Alberta, British Columbia, something just ultra magical about these places. And I love, love, love coming home. A couple more hours in the car, we get to see the dog, the fiance. Let's do it. We've been climbing the Icefields Parkway since just after Jasper. The road's getting super steep right now, so I'm just letting the truck have a bit of a break here. What a time to get some exercise in. Hey, let's do it. Leave you here on this rock. Couple of squats maybe. The hard thing about being on the road is if you're not careful, you can become very stagnant sitting in that truck seat day after day. So you gotta move your body every once in a while. Man, what a view though. Okay, let's go finish climbing the Icefields Parkway. Like I said, it's super steep. And you know what? Something about driving these old trucks up steep grades, it just stresses me out a little bit. I've had some bad experiences in the past on steep grades. As I roll back into familiar territory, I realize I have a few questions to answer about this whole experience. Can you really trust an old machine to go the distance? Well, I have found that yes, you can. These trucks will take you much further than most people think. But the thing is, you will question it the whole way. Every noise, every vibration, every small thing that does not feel quite right will start to get into your head. A new vehicle is different. You rarely think about it because it just does its job. That is, as long as it's a good one. Be careful here. There are plenty of new trucks I would worry about more than this old Tacoma. Get something reliable, solid, and proven, and you will only think about it when you want to, not when you have to. Was it worth it, and would I do it again? Absolutely yes. But next time, I would define the trip from the start. Is it about testing the machine, or is it about the experience of travel itself? Blending the two sounds good in theory, but when the truck becomes a problem, it can easily take away from the magical moments of travel. I learned this the hard way. Next time, I will pick one, either a challenge for the machine or a journey for the soul. 6 weeks on the road changes you. You see how small you are in the world and how capable you can be when you keep moving forward. I left this driveway with a lot of questions and even more uncertainty, and I'm coming back with answers, miles of memories, and a deeper respect for what adventure really means to me. Now, excuse me as I absolutely have to do something about my incredibly overgrown backyard.